Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our yin practice for this evening. Find a comfortable space and maybe somewhere where you feel comfortable to slow down, to relax. If you have a mat, lay it out. If there's a bolster, some blocks that you would like to use, a blanket, just make sure you're comfortable and come to your space. We'll take a couple moments here to just start to settle in, start to slow down our practice, slow down the day. Find a comfortable seat. You might shift around a little bit. Maybe try one leg on top of the other, or maybe the other leg the other way. And just come to a seat. Once you get there, feel free if you want your hands maybe on your lap, your thumb touching your middle finger or your peace finger, whatever you would like. Maybe even hands down to the ground to be a little more grounded. And start to stack your spine a little taller. And start to close your eyes. If you can, close them. Otherwise, maybe just lower your gaze. And taking a couple moments here, simply to check in with ourselves. See how we're showing up. Scanning the body, maybe from your head, all the way down your shoulders, your spine, your back, your hips, your sit bone, your thighs, your knees, your ankles, your feet, and maybe back up your feet to your ankles, your knees, to your thighs, your hips, your spine, your shoulders, the crown of your head. And then start to notice your breath. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and let it go through your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose and just sigh it all out through your mouth. And then breathe in through your nose and seal your lips and just breathe in and out through your nose. It's like a continuous flow. The air comes in through your nostrils and then it exits through your nostril, tickling the top of your lip. It's like waves coming in and heading out. As we practice our yin practice today, we're slowing down. Our postures will be slow to move in. We'll take our time with them. There'll be some options. There won't be many. In our yin, it's about time, compression, and they're all meditative postures. Thoughts will come. We'll try to keep reconnecting to our breath. And some postures might even have a little bit of an edge where we need to come to our breath and maybe send our breath to those points. But let's just take a couple minutes here, just connecting to our breath. Letting thoughts come flooding in. There's no reason or need to stop them. Instead, you can acknowledge, but don't engage, and just come back to your breath. If your mind's wandered, reconnect to your breath. Throughout our practice today, you might keep your eyes closed the whole time. Maybe peek as you need or feel with your hands. There's no right or wrong. Use your intuition and use your breath and work with your body, your joints, your bones. As you are with a seat right now, maybe if one leg's not on top, maybe take the bottom leg and bring it on top, or bring one leg over if it wasn't. And maybe your knees stack one on top of the other, or maybe your legs are wider apart. Your legs might look like a square stacked on top of each other, or knee over knee, or maybe somewhere in between. Start to play around with that. See what works in your body. And then where your legs go, it's okay. You're not totally committed to that. If you need to adjust, you can. Start to notice your sit bones. And start to notice gravity just right here, already adding some compression to your bottom leg from your top leg. Elongate your spine. Shoulders rolling back and down, and then just kind of let them relax. This might be enough, just this posture, holding with legs here. Next, you could just tuck your chin and then relax your shoulders. The other option is to start to work your way and tilt forward and let your upper body just bend over your legs. And maybe your hands come, your head rests on your hands. Maybe you take a block and bring the block to help bring your legs closer to your head. Maybe it's 2 blocks, maybe it's a bolster. Maybe your arms come all the way down. Maybe you try a couple and find what works for you. And once you find your posture, start to let your muscles go. Start to relax. No need to hold on to anything. On an exhale, you might find that you can let go and maybe shift around, and maybe you take more space. And an inhale, maybe there's a little elongation in the spine. Or it's a noticeable inhale, just to notice. We find stillness and come back to your breath. And just notice your breath as it comes in and out. You might notice sensations in your hips, your quads. Just relax your muscles so we can get deeper into our connective tissues. Getting deeper into our connective tissues, our plastic tissues, will help create the flexibility. Just as much, though, important is the flexibility in our mind. Continue to stay with your breath. Just a couple more breaths here. Keeping your gaze lowered or your eyes closed, maybe just start to move your hands closer to your hips to start to stack your spine. If you're already up with your spine, maybe just lift your chin. And just notice a shift in your prana and your energy. A shift might be a temperature change. Just notice. It's called a rebound. When you feel ready for some movement, you bring the bottoms of your feet to the ground. Hands can come behind you and just open up your chest. And then maybe a couple windshield wipers of your legs. Finding some movement that's calling to you. Maybe something else is calling. And feel free to take that. Just counterbalancing what we just did. So what was compressed, open up. Maybe what was open, we compress. Working the opposites. Then when you're ready, come back to a seat. And now let's take the journey on the other side. Our mind likes to go to the past, and it likes to plan for the future by thinking of things from the past. So right now it's already thinking about where it was, how it felt on the other leg. But don't let our mind go there. We'll not engage in that. We'll acknowledge that this is a different side, a different joint, different bones. And it might feel different, and it might be different. Maybe your legs are farther apart on this side. Maybe they're closer. Start to shift around. Start to adjust and see what options you need. Maybe it's a block or two to help bring the ground or your knee up towards you. Maybe you're going to take this one sitting straight up with your spine and just tuck your chin. Find the pose that works for you. If you're going to take it into a fold, find your sit bones and give a little tilt forward, and then see where you land. And then maybe start to use your breath to guide you a little bit more into your posture. You might settle, shift, and then find stillness. And continue to stay with your breath. We spend so much time moving quickly, rushing through life, thinking that if we rush to the beginning of the week, because we got to get to the weekend, and it's just, we wish Monday would go by fast, and Tuesday, and Thursday, but then we end up wishing time away. Take time in the stillness to bring your awareness inside, to notice what happens when you slow down, the details that you feel. The time to slow down so that our organs can catch up. You might start to notice some spots in your body, maybe outer hip, and maybe send your breath there. And see where you could soften. Just a couple more breaths here. Slowly start to walk your hands towards your hips. Slowly start to stack your spine. If your chin is tucked, start to lift. If you can, keep your eyes closed and just notice sensations. maybe even some emotions and feelings that come up. Acknowledge, and then we come to our breath. When you feel ready for some movements, again, we'll bring the bottoms of our feet to the mat. Our knees point up. Fingers can come back. And maybe just a little lean back here and open up your chest. Maybe laying your legs out long might feel good. Whereas maybe your hands can go out and pull your shoulder blades together. And a couple windshield wipers. Something else is calling to you, feel free to take it. Sitting straight up, take our legs straight out in front of us. Notice your sit bones touching the ground. Notice your legs, your toes, your ankles, your knees, your thighs, your hips, your sit bones. Start to turn them off. Just let your muscles go. You might notice your knees fall out a little bit, or maybe they come in. Maybe there's a little bend in your knees. Elongate your spine. And for some, maybe your hands just come down with your palms facing up, the back of your hands touching the mat, and you tuck your chin. For some, we take an inhale, elongate our spine, and then on exhale, slowly let our hands continue to slide along the mat until we find a spot that's noticeable. Our mind kind of goes, It's a spot that's not too much, not too little, but there's a little reaction. You find that spot, and then you send your breath. An exhale might melt you down a little bit more. An inhale, you might elongate your spine and tilt forward a tad more. And then continuing to scan your body to turn off all your muscles. And what's ever building up in your head, thoughts, you just let them go with your muscles. Let everything go. And let time, compression, and stillness start to work to heal and work on all our plastic tissues. And then stay with your breath. That's all you need to do. We go through life so quickly, not noticing details. Driving down the road, we get to our destination, but don't ever recall stopping at a stoplight, at a stop sign. Taking opportunities now just to be in the present, to stay with our breath and notice that in stillness the change that's happening inside. So in tune, and to notice that when these little edges come, you might feel maybe in your glute to hamstring connection, or quad, that you just breathe into it. Stay non-reactive and send your breath. Just a little bit more time here. And this compression as we fold it over to work on an inward with our internal organs, our stomach, our gallbladder, our liver. Just continue to breathe. That's all you need to do.
Wherever I heard noise, that's where I went. If you look through the window instead of looking in that mirror, a certain amount of what comes out of you is just exploration.
Couple more breaths here. Slowly start to take your hands and bring them towards your hips. When you get to the top, just lift your spine and hold again, noticing the rebound sensation. Continue to stay with your breath. When you feel ready, maybe your knees come up. Maybe sway side to side. Maybe you push into your feet, into your palms, and a reverse tabletop. Doesn't matter how high you lift. Just notice sensations. What opens up after being too compressed? Ready? Slowly lower yourself down. We'll come onto our hands and our knees. If some cats and cows are calling to you, feel free to take some. Inhale, we'll drop your belly. Gaze will go up. And exhale, arch your back. Look back towards your belly. Just take a couple cat and cows. Find some stillness. You might open your knees up a little wider, maybe to the outside of your mat or a little farther, or maybe in a little more. Let your big toes touch, and then start to shift and exhale your back towards your hips. Arms can start to walking out and starting to exhale and push back towards your heels, letting your body just start to melt. On an inhale, you'll focus on elongating your arms, maybe in your spine. On an exhale, you'll see what can sink closer to the mat, closer to your heels. If you have any shoulder issues, your arms might broaden out. Your shoulders and arms maybe come out more of a goddess pose to take pressure off. Maybe you take it more to a traditional child's pose and you bring your arms back. Wherever you are is all good. Start to find some stillness. Let things start to shift and start to settle. Child's pose is an awesome posture. It's a self-calming posture. It's touching the ground. It's a grounded posture. It's a fold, a little bit of inversion with our head lower than our heart. And it really lets us bring our focus inside. You can hear your breath a little more. And maybe your third eye center feels a little compression as it's touching the ground. Stay with your breath. Bringing our awareness inside, you might notice with your breath, your belly starts to touch your thighs. You might notice more compression in your legs. So your upper body continues to melt, continues to not fight gravity. Notice what's happening inside in sensations and feelings, but staying non-reactive and just coming right back to your breath. It's been said that if you want peace, to be still. If you want wisdom, be silent. If you want love, be yourself. in the self-awareness posture, scan your body and start to see where you can let go. Taking our time to work layer by layer, deeper and deeper inside our tissues, to let go of any tension. Just a couple more breaths here. As slowly as possible,